of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are St. Louis.
The rain washed away Sunday afternoon's game here at Busch Stadium against the Royals. John Lackey was supposed to start, so he's pushed back. He'll go tonight. It's interleague play, and the Minnesota Twins are here. Their starter, Trevor May, will go for Hall of Famer Paul Molitor. It's the Twins and Cardinals coming up on Fox Sports Midwest from the Gateway City. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, it's interleague play. The Minnesota Twins and the St. Louis Cardinals, first of two here at Busch, first of four overall. And with Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us as we get you set for baseball. Hopefully the rain stays away and we can play tonight. If we do, good matchup tonight. Really good matchups all series long.
Yeah, John Lackey has to wait that extra day after the rain yesterday. He goes in Game 1 against Trevor May. It'll be Kyle Gibson, University of Missouri product, in Game 2 against the Cardinals' best Michael Wacha. Martinez and Garcia will pitch in Minnesota against Malone and the former Met, Mike Pelfrey.
Right-hander May, right-hander Lackey. Baseball coming up here on Fox Sports Midwest. Interleague play, Minnesota and St. Louis. Peralta hits this and time. 2-0 St. Louis. Hayward jumps on it, and this game is tied. And Carpenter hits it a ton out to deep right field. This is gone. Reynolds with a high fly ball, deep left field. At the wall, it's gone. And the Cardinals are back on top. In tonight's game, we are participating in the Home Run Challenge, and every Cardinal home run in this ball game raises $12,000. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. It's interleague play tonight. Cardinals and Twins coming up on Fox Sports Midwest.
Baseball here after the last 24 hours, all the rain that we've had. We've had rain here this afternoon. Umpires are on the scene. They're exchanging lineup cards. And it's game number 1 of 4 between the Cardinals and the Twins.
Well, Dan, I can promise a different outcome here tonight than the last time I saw these two teams play in spring training. They tied 6-6. And one thing's for sure, it may rain some. And the Cardinals may win or lose, but they will not tie the Twins here tonight.
Not in regular season action. Yes, Joe West is here along with Ed Hitchcox, Mike Estabrook, and Paul Nart, the umpires for game 1 of this series. I know you were down in the Minnesota clubhouse, and familiar faces down there. Neil Allen, a former Cardinal. Paul Molitor, the Hall of Famer and manager of the Minnesota Twins.
And also good to catch up with Tom Brunansky, former Cardinal. And first thing he wanted to know is who of the guys that I know are going to be at the ballpark today. He wanted to see Ken Daly and Todd Worrell and Tommy Lawless. And he was so excited to talk about his days here in St. Louis. Of course, Neil Allen's days, and he's on the left there talking to Brunansky right now. Neil Allen did not pitch well here in St. Louis. It wasn't a good spot for him, but he has really become kind of a guru when it comes to molding young pitchers for Paul Molitor, who of course is a Hall of Famer. And when you talk baseball with Paul Molitor, you know you're talking baseball with a class guy. He has represented baseball very well, both as a player, as a coach, and now as a manager.
John Lackey gets the call tonight for St. Louis, coming off a tough start in Denver against the Rockies. This will be start number 13. He's 4-4. You look at those numbers, and they're okay. Not bad at all. But here at home, they're really impressive.
Yeah, the ERA's a little skewed, too, because he had that bad outing in Colorado where he gave up a ton of hits and a ton of runs. And, of course, one of those Colorado days for him, Dan, where he could not get his slider sharp. And you look up on the scoreboard, you got 8 earned runs. That's kind of tough to overcome.
Here's Brian Dozier, the second baseman, good hitter. He'll lead it off. Then Eddie Rosario, Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, Torrey Hunter, Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, Trevor May, and Byron Buxton, still looking for his first major league hit. One of the top prospects in all of baseball. First pitch is fouled back, and we're underway. John Lackey went out to the bullpen yesterday to warm up for his start against the Kansas City Royals. Never took to the mound and didn't wind up getting loose for this game until around 7:05, 7:10. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Pitchers like to talk about it is, did you get nervous? Well, he didn't actually get loose, but he got nervous because he had to actually go out to the pen and think, and not really nervous, but you get amped up because you're pitching a big league game. There's preparation to it, and he just had to delay it 24 hours. I don't think that's going to hurt a veteran like Lackey at all.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Molina sets up outside. Dozier with a fly ball into left center. John Jay on the move, and he's got it. 1 away. Cardinals defense tonight presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Grichuk, Jay, and Hayward in the outfield. Carpenter at third, Peralta at short, Wong at second, Mark Reynolds at first, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Eddie Rosario is hitting .283, the left fielder for Minnesota, with 3 home runs, and he's driven in 15. The Twins start play tonight a game and a half out of first place as that pitch is popped up. Carpenter is over. And he's got it. Just held on.
A bit of a snow cone there for Matt Carpenter. Had to go a long way to get that ball off the bat of Rosario. And what I was going to say, Dan, about Rosario, the Twins likened him to Rod Carew. That's the name that they're throwing out there with the hands that he has. But he pops this ball up, and Carpenter goes to the railing, leans over, and just barely makes that play. That ball stuck in the glove the same way Jason Hayward's ball in right field did. Just barely.
Just enough for a win. Here's Joe Mauer.
What a play that was.
And really that play was tough for Carpenter because he's reaching for the rail, and then that's the steps to the dugout. So he's not really sure where he's at that point.
And you're in enemy territory. You're
not a lot of help.
You're not getting. You got room. It's okay. You're fine. You're probably getting silence, is what you're getting.
1 ball, 1 strike on Joe Mauer. Just 2 home runs, 35 driven in, and he's hitting .261 this year.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal for John Lackey, 41% fastballs, and he has been very good with that pitch in the strike zone. The slider kind of eluded him in Colorado, and also will sink that fastball from time to time, but he's mostly fastballs and then tries to put you away late in the count with an off-speed pitch.
Out to left, Randal Grichuk is there in a 1-2-3 inning. 8 pitches for John Lackey. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. '21, only team at 40 wins this year. They're at 41 and 20 games above the 500 mark. Colton Wong will lead it off, followed by Matt Carpenter and Johnny Peralta. Mark Reynolds will bat cleanup. Then Yadier Molina, Jason Hayward, Randal Grichuk, John Jay, and the pitcher, John Lackey. Wong is hitting .300 this year with 7 home runs, and he's driven in 27. There's Trevor May, start number 12 this year.
Has a solid fastball, but the pitch he wants to get you out with is his changeup. Also has a curveball, but the changeup is where he wants to go when he's in trouble. And he's a guy that's really gotten better with his command. He's been pounding the strike zone this season.
We just saw Colton Wong tap the shin guards of Suzuki. There's the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Those two hail from Hawaii. And Colton telling us that probably the 2 most recognizable baseball players right now in Hawaii are Suzuki and Shane Victorino, the flying Hawaiian. But he said, with a little wink of the eye, things are starting to change for me too. He said the competition over there is getting better, and now he has turned into one of the local heroes as he's made it to the major leagues. 2-1 pitch.
There was a time where University of Hawaii was a terrific program, and even people that weren't necessarily from Hawaii would go there to play, and they would year after year just turn out terrific minor league players and big league players, and I'd say a pretty nice place to live and play baseball. Would you?
Yeah, I'd say so. I could handle it. Full count here on Colton Wong. The shift is on. Interesting here with Wong. We haven't seen that done very often. And a 3-2 pitch. And Wong smokes it into center field, but right at Buxton. 1 down. Twins defense with Rosario, Buxton, and Hunter in right. Plouffe, Escobar, Dozier, and Mauer along the infield, and Kurt Suzuki, the catcher tonight for Minnesota.
You know, that is fascinating to me that Paul Molitor would go with a shift against a leadoff hitter. That's not something you normally think about. And of course, Colton Wong, in some ways, not your typical leadoff hitter because he's got such power from that spot, and he is looking to kind of yank the ball to right and drive it. And Molitor's leadoff hitter does the same thing. Dozier is probably their best hitter and most powerful hitter, and he's in that one spot.
Gene Glenn there on the left, the former third base coach for Dusty Baker in Chicago. There's a breaking ball that drops in, and now 2 strikes on Matt Carpenter. Matt is hitting .290, 8 home runs. He's driven in 32. Reaching for it, slowly hit to the right side. Mauer to the pitcher, out. And Mike Matheny pops out of the dugout. They'll review this and take a look as to whether or not they should challenge.
Very close play at first base. Mauer on the flip. Pitcher a little bit late covering and looked out to me. I think May's right foot. Again, perfect flip, really. It's chest high, and he is out. And now the Cardinals know it. They've seen the video. It's interesting to me of the close plays, Danny, and I'm going to say something positive about umpires. I hope you don't mind.
I'm all for it.
But it's probably about 80% of the time when a team looks at it the way they do and they check, they go to the phone and call into the video room, they don't end up challenging it, which means even on close plays, 80% of the time it isn't even a challenge. And then when the challenge is actually made, they're about 50-50 on whether or not they reverse them or not, but that still becomes an even smaller percentage of the plays they actually get wrong that teams think they get wrong. So they deserve some credit. Again, that's just on the close plays.
1 ball, 1 strike. No, what I've said is that replay to me has shown the fans that they are getting the majority of the calls right.
Correct.
They do a very good job. Here's a 1-1. Biggest issue I have is when an umpire baits a player. I cannot stand that. The fans are here to see these guys play. Period. End of story.
I happen to know that gets under your skin. I've heard that. Somebody told me.
There's a fly ball out to left, and there is Eddie Rosario. So a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor May. John Lackey back to work. No score after 1. John Lackey has finished up his warm-up tosses in preparation for the second inning. He has seen the Twins before many times. The last time he did so is 2014 while pitching with the Boston Red Sox. A 3-hitter, 9 strikeouts that start at Fenway Park.
Dan, he's handled a couple Twins in this lineup pretty well, including Torrey Hunter and Kurt Suzuki. The guy that's hit him the best has been Joe Mauer, but when you look at Joe Mauer's career numbers, though he's having a down year offensively this year, he's hit a lot of people well.
Trevor Plouffe, the third baseman. Today his 29th birthday. His 61 home runs since the start of the 2012 campaign. That's the most for any Twin starter. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Hits his spot.
Love the command of his fastball. I mean, there's just a lot of strikes with that pitch. He's not all over the place, and when he misses, it's just by a little bit, and then he can expand the zone from there. It's just really fun to watch him work.
Sets up again outside, hits his spot with the fastball, and it evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Perfectly placed fastball. Yadi wanted it just off the plate. That's where it is. He's trying to get Plouffe to extend. So then you learn, okay, he's got a pretty good eye of the zone, so I'll just hit that outside corner next time.
And a breaking ball, frozen. First strikeout for Lackey tonight.
Well, Dan, I've got a couple keys to the game, as always brought to you by Toyota. And the first one is to see a Lackey rebound after that rough start in Colorado. And I think another key to this game, really from both teams' vantage point, is how well do they handle their interleague homework. These teams don't know each other very well, so they're going to rely on their pro scouts and video and information to shift properly and to pitch hitters properly. And there's a lot of homework that goes into that. And the pro scouts, we don't talk about a whole lot. Saw Kerry Robinson here at the ballpark yesterday, and he's one of those guys for St. Louis that gives that information that has to be kind of collated in some way and then put into the minds of players.
"11 years with Minnesota. Then it was off to the Angels. A couple years in Detroit for Torrey Hunter. Fabulous player.
Hunter is no doubt the leader of this team.
5-time All-Star. The 0-2 pitch. That ball ran in, jammed him just a little bit, and Hayward coming on to make the play. It's a late movement there from John Lackey.
And again, it's also being ahead in the count. When you're ahead in the count, you're going to get guys to swing at pitches that are borderline strikes. That pitch is actually on the corner. It's up, but he's got to wait back a little bit more because he's behind in the count to protect. You can't be front foot hitting. You can't kind of expect to jerk the ball. You're going to keep your hands back longer, and then that pitch up and in just kind of jams you. You jam yourself, really.
Twins come in 9th in the American League in hitting at .249. On base percentage at .302. So they are looking for offense, especially in the last couple of weeks where they have cooled off. One ball, one strike on Kurt Suzuki.
Every team has injuries, but they've got an injury or two. Aaron Hicks had been playing very well for them in the outfield, and he's got issues with his elbow. And part of the reason they were able to call up Byron Buxton. And we're going to see him in this series and in Minnesota, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this guy. I've heard a lot about him. He's the #1 prospect in all of baseball. And the Twins really top 20. They've got a number of guys in terms of that prospect list, including Sano, who's in Double-A, and he's off to a bit of a slow start, but we saw him in spring training, and he can flat out play.
It's sharply towards second, and the soft hands there from Colton. Nice play. 6 up, 6 down for John Lackey. It'll be Reynolds, Molina, Hayward due up. Nicely done by Colton Wong. No score midway through 2. Jason Hayward, all coming up at the bottom of the second. Also coming up, Jim Hayes with John Mozeliak.
Dan, we can get a quick update on Lance Lynn, who is on the DL right now with a forearm issue. So, Mo, what is the update on Lance?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about him today, but I spoke with our medical staff earlier, and they basically told me he's going to begin his throwing program tomorrow, which will probably look more like catch than actually mound work, and then we'll just take him day by day, and our hope is it's still going to be a short stay on the DL. Lance
was saying he was hoping he would miss just 2 starts. Does it look like that may be the way it shakes out, or too soon to tell?
You know, given the math, that would work, especially with the rain out yesterday, so that's certainly our hope.
Tyler Lyons jumped in, and like so many other players, next man up. Lyons, very solid yesterday.
Well, it was nice to see, because obviously he's had some very successful starts down in Memphis, and he could build on that. And to do what he did the other day is something that we've always believed he's capable of doing.
Meantime, Jordan Walden was playing catch in the outfield. I know he said he's a while away from throwing off a mound, but what is his status?
Well, we're encouraged on the steps he's taking. He certainly needed to do a lot of strengthening work in his shoulder, and he's done that. And the fact that he is now throwing is encouraging. And our hope is it is something that might be before the All-Star break that we get him back.
Marco is trying to come back with some rehabilitation at the spring training complex in Florida. What's the update on Marco?
Well, it just makes more sense for a player at the minor league level to rehab down in Jupiter, just because the minor league staffs are so thin and from a medical standpoint, and so he'll get every opportunity to do so. We're encouraged with him as well, and we're hoping sometime perhaps early July that he's ready to go.
Is he throwing right now?
He has begun a throwing program, yes.
And last thing, we look at this Cardinal team, 20 games over 500 with all the injuries you guys have been dealt along the way. What impresses you the most about the way you guys have been able to deal with those injuries?
Well, I think the word that comes to mind is how they never give up. And when you think about how they look at this game and how they play the game, they really are relentless. And I think that is this group and how they want to be defined. And it says a lot about these players.
Mo, thanks for the time. And Danny, Mo wanted me to say hi to you.
I appreciate that, Jim. And Mo, thank you. Special thanks. And Rick got
I'm a little hurt.
left out.
It's okay. I can handle it.
You're tough. Good job by Jim. But that's encouraging news,
Yeah,
though, with
great
Gonzalez
news,
and
yes.
Walden.
Well, you think about, it's one of the things about injuries is, you learn to survive and play and deal with adversity and find out ways to win games without your guys. Then they come back, you just feel that much better. You think about this lineup, all of a sudden you infuse Holiday back into this lineup, and I know the Twins are thinking the same way about one of their starters, Urban Santana, who has been put on the suspended list.
80 games.
80 games, and he's going to be back right around the 4th of July for Paul Molitor, and he's a #1 starter. Think about it. They're losing their #1 starter, yet they're only a game and a half behind the Royals. The problem with Santana is because of a new rule, he will be ineligible to pitch during the World Series. You cannot play postseason play anymore with a new basic agreement if you are put on the suspension list.
Inside, and it's 3-1. So he can get you there, but then he can't help you once you're there.
Then he's got to buy a ticket.
Very deep, Torrey Hunter in right field. 3-1 pitch, and backhanded by Mauer. Race to the bag and out. Good start for Trevor May. After 2, no score here in St. Louis. John Lackey and the Cardinals playing in game number 1 of this 4-game set with Minnesota. Our difference maker presented by BJC Healthcare. This is what we're talking about. His career with St. Louis. Look at the difference in ERA, home and road. He's 6-1 here at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, Mike Matheny was asked before the game about all this road and home split numbers, and he says he tries to ignore those for the most part, but as the season wears on, you actually do look at those. I mean, maybe when it's a small sample size, that's one thing, but you're talking about 10 games here, 10 games on the road, that kind of makes you notice a little bit, and you can start to change matchups based on where a guy happens to perform well.
Switch hitting Escobar grounds out to Mark Reynolds at first. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Cardinals.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. The National League will take on the Kansas City Royals, and you can see it on Fox.
I heard that. I was listening. I understand they now have 8 players.
8.
Including the second baseman that has an on-base percentage of .213.
That's correct.
Omar Infante. And, hey, he's a big league player. I respect him, but he's not an all-star.
So the pitcher batting 8th here is Trevor May. So there it is. Mike Trout and a bunch of Royals.
Well, I don't think Omar Infante is an all-star, but 4,518 plus for 1 million, excuse me. 4 million people believe that he's an all-star, or 2 people believe it 2 million times.
And this one counts. Home field advantage decided by the All-Star game. I mentioned this on the road trip. 1957 was the ballot stuffing in Cincinnati.
I heard you talking about that with reference to David Bell's grandfather,
Gus Bell, and he was replaced. The starters were all Reds with the exception of Stan the Man, and so league commissioner at that time, Ford Frick, stepped in. There's an 0-2 pitch. Trevor May wants no part of hitting, so he steps in. That's strikeout number 2 for Lackey, and says, wait a minute, Willie Mays, you're in. Hank Aaron, you're in. And that's when the fans, after that season, were not allowed to vote anymore until 1970.
The only kind of saving grace with the way the All-Star game is now, there are many more players who actually make the All-Star team. So you could conceivably see some Royals starting and then out after 1.
Midway through 3, and there's no score. brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. Jim Hayes is with us. Rick Horton, Dan McLaughlin. Nice to have you along on a hot, muggy night here in St. Louis. And a rain delay. We hope to get this one in.
We had a chance to see Byron Buxton for the first time. He grounded out to end that last inning, and they talk about him, Dan. We talked about him as the #1 prospect in baseball, but he's a 5-tool guy. Very good defender. He has a plus arm in center field. I mean, we have Torii Hunter playing right. This guy must be a pretty good center fielder. And they say he can run like no player who's worn a Twins uniform for the last 20 years.
Wow.
I mean, they've had fast guys, but this guy's faster than those fast guys. He's a plus runner, and be fun to watch him play. Still very, very young.
Randal Grichuk, and the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball, a good one.
And interesting, a year ago we saw the video of a collision that he had in the outfield, which reminded me at the time of what Shane Robinson did when he was in AAA. Had the same kind of play where he ran into another outfielder, and now these two guys are teammates. But really just scary situations for both of them, but he's back playing and bright future ahead.
Shane Robinson on the bench tonight for the Minnesota Twins. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Randal Grichuk. Grichuk with a high fly ball, deep left center field. Buxton back at the wall, up against the wall. Grichuk on his way to third, and Buxton still on the ground. A triple for Randal Grichuk.
We saw the speed and talked about the defensive ability of Buxton. He went a long way to try to track that one down off the bat of Grichuk, who hits the ball so hard. That's a good line to the ball. He checks the fence, and as he gets close, he does a little bit of a half jump and just misses the baseball and then slams into it. He probably should have caught it. I'm not sure he could have held on after slamming into the wall, but let's say he could have caught it. But the question would have been, could he have held on?
Infield drawn in, and here is Jon Jay. John Lackey on deck. Jay hitting .226, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. But his at-bats have looked much better here recently for Jon Jay.
Agreed.
Trying to come back from injury and timing, various issues he's had to deal with. 0-1 pitch.
Well, Dan, there's no betting in baseball, and I'm not a betting man. But if I were given the prospects of whether or not Jon Jay would hit 300 this season or not, despite the average of .226 right now, I wouldn't bet against him.
1-1 pitch inside. We've seen that a time or two where Jay is able to take a pitch on the hip or the arm. Among the league leaders in hit by pitches last couple of seasons. Runner at third is Randal Grichuk. 2 balls, 1 strike on the batter, Jon Jay. Jay, little pop up, shallow left, may drop. It does. 1-0 Cardinals as Grichuk will score. A bloop single for Jon Jay as he picks up his 10th RBI.
One of the reasons a player gets hit a lot is they like to try to jam certain guys, and that makes you vulnerable to getting hit. Jay jammed here, but gets a hit anyway. As the infield is in, the shortstop Escobar has too long to run, and Grichuk read that well. You can tell, first of all, he's not going to have to tag up, so there's no sense in going all the way back, but I think he could smell the fact that that ball may drop. He read that off the bat well.
And here's the pitcher, John Lackey. Bunts it sharply to first baseman Joe Mauer, and advancing on the play, Jon Jay. Well, talking about Buxton, Ricky mentioned it, considered one of the top prospects in all of baseball. And is this the next wave of talent? This is at the beginning of the season where they were rated. Now all are in the major leagues, and most recently the Astros called up Carlos Correa. He was the first overall pick in 2012, and he's a shortstop for Houston.
And interesting that all 4 of those guys are joining teams that are either playing above expectation or they're playing to a level that makes you want to get that prospect to the big leagues in a hurry. And the Twins, I think, are one of those teams that have overachieved so far. And I don't mean to criticize Paul Molitor's club and say they're not a good club, but I just think what he's done with them to this point, 6 games over 500, with the leadership of Torrey Hunter and really good starting pitching, has been a bit of a surprise.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Colton Wong. Jay is the runner at second base. Popped up and out of play. That was Lackey's second sacrifice this year.
Kind of a left-handed compliment there, isn't it? You're better than I thought you'd be.
I think if they were honest, they would say the same thing. But you also tell yourself, maybe we are this good too. There are those that are around this club that rave about Paul Molitor. You know, Ron Gardenhire was there for a long time, Tom Kelly before him, and sometimes that new voice is needed, a little different look, perspective, and that's what Paul Molitor has done. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Colton Wong. Hits it the other way, and it is foul. Paul Nart with that call.
So they shifted on Wong in the first inning, and Wong says, well, I'm going to try to hit one over there just to see if you guys are paying attention, and just barely fouled.
One ball and 2 strikes on Wong, who lined out to center. First time up, big gap in left center. And a fly ball lifted down the left field line, shallow. There's Rosario to make the catch. And there's 2 outs. When the Cardinals win, you save. For every Cardinals win this homestand against the Royals and Twins, fans can take $4 off select loge, pavilion, and terrace level seats for the July 1st game against the White Sox, July 2nd against the Padres. We finish up. All you have to do is visit Cardinals.com/win.
They don't seem like they're happy they're sitting together. Twins fans are welcome.
Here's Matt Carpenter.
Another nice crowd here today.
Cardinals have gone over 3.1 million tickets sold. The season ticket base is around 24,000. And they are trending to 3.5, which is an amazing accomplishment with this market size. 1-0 pitch to Carpenter.
Molitor was telling us before the game how much he respects the St. Louis franchise, and he was talking about the crowds and just the winning tradition here in St. Louis, and he was very kind of interested in letting people know that he thinks St. Louis does it right, and for our game, is what he said, St. Louis is a great model. I thought that was a terrific thing, and he was almost, by the way, a Cardinal.
Wouldn't that have been something?
$6,000 separating signing a Hall of Famer or not. We talk about Steve Carlton all the time in that regard, but for $6,000 more, the Cardinals could have had Paul Molitor.
And instead he goes to Minnesota, University of Minnesota, and then on to Major League Baseball, and a stop in Cooperstown. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Matt Carpenter. Carpenter, one of the top men with runners in scoring position in all of baseball, hitting close to 500. Here's a 3-1 pitch. And a strike. Lackey in the driver's seat. Matt Carpenter in interleague play for the top hitters. He's the best against the Royals of any opponent. And overall, 338. Now getting a crack at the Minnesota Twins here tonight.
Skip Schumacher making that list. How about that?
330 for Skip.
And for Joe Mauer.
Peralta on deck and a 3-2 pitch to Carpenter. Struck him out. A triple by Grichuk, bloop single by Jay. Cardinals on top. One to nothing. The Cardinals have a lead. Top of 4 rolls in. John Lackey, first time through this lineup with a pair of strikeouts, no walks, and this pitching of the Cardinals has been remarkable. We were talking before the game, Rick, and it's the top of the lineup. Brian Dozier will lead it off. If you took away a starting first baseman, setup man, the ace of your staff, your all-star left fielder, and oh, by the way, you're 20 games above 500, people would say you're crazy.
And another way to say that is your third and fourth hitter in your lineup too, and your first and second starter, and your 8th inning guy. With Lynn out now too, you add him to that list, and there aren't many teams that could withstand that for the short term, and certainly for the long term. It's hard to deal with, and I think it'd be hard for the Cardinals to deal with that long term. I mean, you're going to have to get some infused talent at some point before this season is over, with some of those guys coming back. And as John Mozeliak mentioned with Jim Hayes earlier, you've got guys like Marco Gonzalez kind of in the wings that I think would certainly be a guy that you can count on to get some innings this year and win some games.
Left center, Jay on the move and won't get there. Ground rule double for Brian Dozier. And his first plate appearance, almost the identical spot, and that ball was caught in left center in the first. This time just past Jay, into the seats, in a ground rule double.
He's definitely a guy with power. 13 home runs. He's in that leadoff spot, but that's a pretty good breaking ball too. You look at the location, and it's down in the zone, but he still finds a way to go down and get it and drive it. It's a pretty impressive swing at what I would say was a decent to plus pitch from Lackey.
Here's Rosario, who popped out his first time up in foul territory, and a play made by Carpenter. Carpenter is cheating in at third. Mark Reynolds staying back at first. Outfield is shallow. And the 1-0 pitch forthcoming here from John Lackey. Now time is called. 1-0 pitch and fouled back. Turned out so far to be a nice night for baseball. We know rain is in the area in the forecast for later tonight and tomorrow. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a bunt that rolls foul.
Rosario is just 23 years of age, and he is from Puerto Rico and was a 4th-round draft choice. But we mentioned the name Rod Carew. Again, I got that from Bert Blyleven, Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Twins, and they said all their coaches along the way have been saying that that's what his hands are like. He just has good hands, and he's hit at every level, and every time they challenge him to a higher level, he just finds ways to hit. Just natural hitter.
By the way, note the start time for tomorrow. It's at 12:45. A rare Tuesday day game. There's Dick Bremer on the right, longtime play-by-play man of the Minnesota Twins, and a Hall of Famer on the left.
Bert Blyleven is such a fun guy to be around.
That's great.
He really is a treat. He'll tell you what he thinks.
Fine by me. A broken bat lifted into shallow left, and there's Grichuk. Join Fox Sports Midwest at Ballpark Village for the World Cup watch parties. Cheer on Team USA tomorrow. They'll take on Nigeria. We'll be at Ballpark Village's Busch 2 infield. Games, mascots, giveaways, World Cup watch party. Starts tomorrow at 6. The game from Vancouver at 7.
Dan, it'd be an interesting little project to do when you watch a game one time, to put a little plus column and a minus column when it relates to little things, doing them right, doing them wrong, and realize just how not doing the little things correctly add up to a loss. How many times you got a guy on second base with nobody out, you absolutely have to get him to third with Joe Mauer coming up next. You just have to find some way to move that runner from second to third. And part of being in that second spot in the lineup is something that, I mean, you ought to have that ability.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Mauer has moved from behind home plate to first base. To think that he won a batting title as a catcher, so hard to do. The rigors of playing that position day after day over 6 months and not wearing down the other side of the game, which is the offense. The 2-0.
If any hitter can be forgiven for kind of giving a bat away and at bat away in the course of a week, it's a catcher. I mean, you're up there, you got your pitchers dealing, it's the 8th inning, you're up by 5 runs, you're focused on your pitcher, and I don't mean giving it away 100%, but maybe not having your full focus on that at bat. I think a catcher can be excused every once in a while for that.
Joe, just a terrific athlete. He had a letter of intent to go play football at Florida State. He was all-state in football, basketball, and baseball. He was headed to Tallahassee to play for Bobby Bowden. And he draws the rare walk from Lackey, who questions the strike zone.
Questioned it, got an answer, didn't agree with it.
I also think there's a flip side too when we were talking about an umpire showing up a player. Well, the other side of that too is that Lackey has got the ability, should have the ability to be able to ask about the strike zone, but then the manner in which you ask it is also something that comes into question. And showing up an umpire, I'm not saying he did there,
Well, he was on the edge.
He was on the edge.
And I think catchers are taught, and catchers would all say that, you know, they're talking to the umpire all game long. They're trying to beg for pitches. They're talking, well, where was that? You sure about that? I need that pitch. But when you turn around and look at the umpire, you draw attention to that, and I think that's what they don't like.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Trevor Plouffe. Now time is called by Yadier Molina. Plouffe struck out looking first time up. Lackey has struck out 2 tonight.
Saw it once warming up for a game somewhere in AAA where Tom Nieta was catching for the Cardinals AAA affiliate, which was Louisville at the time, and he was talking with the umpire, and he turned around and started arguing, and he got tossed out of the game. But the key of that particular situation is the game hadn't started yet.
There's a ground ball. Can they turn 2? Out at second. It's a double play. 5, 4, 3. Carpenter, Wong, Reynolds. St. Louis on top. 1-0. Buxton jersey. Tomei wore number 25. Now Buxton patrolling center field for the Minnesota Twins as we check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, as a young player coming up with the Brewers organization, Mike Matheny idolized Paul Molitor. Mike was not only impressed with the way he played, but the way he carried himself and the way he treated people, especially young players. Mike says to him Molitor was a hero. So naturally Matheny was absolutely floored when Molitor called him for a little advice after taking over as manager of the Twins. Mike says it was an awkward moment because he was so humbled by it. Molitor told me he didn't call many people for advice when he took the job, but Mike was one of them because he has so much respect for what Mike has done with the Cardinals, Dan.
1-0 St. Louis here in the bottom of the 4th. Thank you, Jim.
Very much mutual respect between the two of these guys. And you think about Mike really just 4 years into managing, and I think that makes some sense. You respect the guy that you're familiar with, and you realize that, hey, he's kind of newly gone into all these things now that I'm thinking about right now for Paul Molitor. And, you know, tell me where I start. And since Mike is barely starting his career as a manager, and hopefully he'll be a part of this for a long time, I think he's probably fresher in his mind than somebody who's been around for 10 years.
John Mozeliak was telling me that when Tony La Russa left, they weren't looking for a guy to come in and reinvent the wheels the way that he said it. There's a strikeout of Peralta, low strike. The Cardinals don't like that. And the reason being is that they had a good team coming back from that World Championship team of 2011.
Peralta not happy with that call, and neither is Mike. And yes, he inherited an organization that was kind of on the upswing, and you got to give Tony La Russa some credit for that. That he kind of didn't just leave when he didn't bail on a sinking ship. He got things going, and really they'd been going since 2000. You know, Tony got here late in the 1990s, and yet took a couple years maybe to get his traction here, not only with the club, but I think with the fan base even, to be honest. And there were people that kind of weren't sure about this guy coming over from the West Coast, and you know, is he going to be our type of guy or not? And it took a while to warm to it.
Well hit and goodbye. Into the bullpen it goes, and a home run for Reynolds. 2-0 St. Louis.
May went curveball, fastball in this at bat, and Reynolds was looking for the fastball and drove it.
Here's Yadier Molina.
You know, Dan, I paid attention to Reynolds' first at bat. He was really protecting well, and that's kind of his two-strike approach, but he still has the home run approach. And if he gets a pitch to his liking, power's still there.
And that's well hit. Deep left, off the bat of Molina, his first. Yadier Molina, finally, he says, back in the home run column. 3-0 Cardinals. Back-to-back blasts.
You think Yadi's happy about this? That's a curveball sitting on a tee for him. Mark Reynolds seemed just as happy. Been a long time for that home run trot for Molina. First of the season.
June 27th of 2014 at Los Angeles. Last time that he went deep. Hayward chops it to the right side, and a flip to first, and they get him by a step.
Mike Matheny was asked before the game when we were chatting with him, do you think, does it really matter that Yadi hasn't hit any home runs? And Mike's answer was, I think it matters to Yadi, but it doesn't matter to me. You know how we feel about home runs. We want guys to have good at bats and hit doubles, and home runs are things that, you know, certainly players want to get, but he was admitting that Yadier Molina cares about kind of the reduced power that he's seen so far. So a good moment for Yadi, and you could tell by the reaction of his teammates that they cared as well.
2 outs. Here's Randal Grichuk. I asked Randall before the game, I said, where does your power come from? You're not a big guy in terms of being that 6'5" bodybuilder type. You know, he's compact. He's in great shape, obviously. And he said, I've always been told I have great bat speed. And I think we've seen that at this level. And that's where he generates much of his power. What a play here. Diving by Escobar, and safe at first is Grichuk. Not only power, but his speed, too.
There was a lot of athleticism on display on that particular ground ball, and it wasn't all Grichuk. Hard hit ball up the middle, had a lot of top spin on it, was going to scoot up the middle, but there's the layout for Escobar. He jumps up, fires to first, but the speed of Grichuk not in time. I love watching plays like that where guys are just flat out being athletes.
Here's John Jay. Loop single to left field. The infield was drawn in back in the third to score Grichuk.
You know, you talk about his bat speed, but I would not suggest getting in a arm wrestling contest with Randal Grichuk if I were you.
Agreed.
He's also very, very strong.
Well hit, slicing in the gap in left center, and the catch made by Brian Buxton. Yadier Molina. It was 96 games between home runs for him. 342 at bats. It started with Reynolds, then Yadi, and his reaction. 3-0 Cardinals. Run. Yadier Molina followed up with a solo shot, and the Cardinals have a 3-0 lead. Speaking of home runs, Roger Maris jersey here at the ballpark. Well, in Lackey's last 3 starts against the Twins, which includes 2 at Boston and now this one tonight, 19 consecutive innings without allowing an earned run. That pitch popped up by Torrey Hunter. Hunter fly to shallow right. He's 0 for 1.
Had a chance to meet Torrey Hunter in the clubhouse today and talk about his connection with Matt Carpenter, and it's kind of been well chronicled that they both went to the same school. He played at the high school where Matt's dad is now the all-state coach, and he said he talked to Matt Carpenter about, he said, I'll take you under my wing and teach you, but you're going to have to want to learn. And he said he's never been around somebody who was more willing to listen than Matt Carpenter as a young player. He said he listened to everything, and I challenged him and pushed him, and he was ready for everything. It's really fun to hear Torrey Hunter talking about a young Matt Carpenter and then see what he's turned into.
Talking with Matt the other day, he said, I still can't believe what's happened to me in my baseball life. Very grounded guy.
Yeah.
But he said, here I was in 2011. I get called up, saw a few at bats, owns a World Series ring. He thought at that point in time, this is the best. It's part of a World Series championship. And he said now, a couple of all-star appearances, looks like a third contract that'd take care of him and his family for generations. I mean, it's a remarkable story for a 13th round pick and a 5-year college player.
And you look at Torrey Hunter and you realize the effect that he's had on making that happen.
Backhanded by Reynolds. Lackey to the bag. 2 down. Next time you're looking for great seats, head to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right, on StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. Plus, the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Cardinals tickets anytime. The official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Stub out.
What time?
Anytime. And no surprise fee.
I heard that too.
Well, John Lackey here tonight. 1 base hit. That was the double by Dozier in the 4th. Real key in this game, the double play. 5-4-3 started by Carpenter to Wong over to Reynolds to end the threat in the top of the 4th. And here's Eduardo Escobar, their shortstop. He grounded out first time up to Reynolds. 0 for 1.
Sometimes you're pitching well and things happen and you give up runs because of bloops and walks and errors and all that. But one of the things to look at in the course of a game is how many balls have been hit hard against a guy. And that's a pretty good indication of whether or not he's got the other team off balance or not. And you look at this game here and you think about the Dozier double, and that's about it.
8-pitch inning. Jay puts it away. Midway through 5. 3-0 St. Louis. Drink run with any size, any flavor McCafe shake for just $1.99 at McDonald's. What's on tap presented by Budweiser. Michael Wacha gets the call tomorrow. He is 8-2. Kyle Gibson will go for Minnesota. And note the start time will come your way at noon. It's one of those rare day games on a Tuesday.
And you're going to run into some fans and friends of Kyle Gibson at the ballpark because he has about 70 of them coming here tomorrow afternoon. We mentioned that he pitched at the University of Missouri. But always look forward to a Michael Wacha start.
John Lackey, what a swing there. Kyle Gibson was a first-round pick, 22nd overall back in 2009.
We talked a little about Trevor May earlier, who hasn't pitched that badly today. The home runs have certainly hurt him, but he came over from the Phillies with Vance Worley. He was kind of a throw-in guy, kind of an extra guy, minor league pitcher that was kind of an okay guy, and he's established himself as a big league starter. But they really don't project him, I don't think, at this point to be more than their third, fourth, or fifth guy.
Lackey with a fly ball into right center. Buxton is there for out number 1. Hyatt Regency St. Louis at the Arch is offering an incredible Cardinals package this season. That includes overnight accommodations, tickets to a weekend home game, a personalized Louisville Slugger bat, and a $25 credit to Brewhouse or Red Kitchen and Bar. Book today, 314-655-1234, or visit stlouisarch.hyatt.com. We had the rain out yesterday, and The rescheduled game is July 23rd. That's a Thursday. There's strike one on Colton Wong. So fans should use their June 14th tickets for the newly scheduled 6:15 game. 6:15 start on Thursday, July 23rd.
Interesting start time.
It'll be a tough sky for the right fielder. As we've seen, those early start times, you get around 4 or 5 o'clock that time of year, July, August, very tough.
So that's in the middle of a homestand for Kansas City, as I understand it, but they're going to have to take the day trip over here and then head back to Kansas City. The Cardinals will be coming back from interleague play in Chicago.
That's only a 2-game series against the White Sox. 0-2 the count here on Colton Wong, who is lined out to center and also fly to left. Curveball, he knew it, and a strikeout. Third for Trevor May. Here's the play if you missed it from the other day. Battling the sun. Jason Hayward in right field.
He's already lost it by right about now, and it's just throw up the glove. And he said the post-game sound, I was just as surprised as anybody in the ballpark that I caught that baseball. But there was some real kind of courage for him just to kind of leave the glove up there somewhere, and some, I guess, good guesswork too. But then once it hits your glove, you could almost see that initial surprise of, hey, wait a minute, that's the ball. And he squeezed it at the right time. He kind of snow-coned it. But that was the difference between winning and losing, him making that play in that sun field.
2-0 on Carpenter. What are you seeing right now with Matt Carpenter? He is 0 for 2 tonight with a ground out and a strikeout.
Well, you know, clearly he's not as comfortable at the plate. I don't see, he's not driving the ball. He's almost feeling for the ball a bit. And, you know, we've seen him 2 or 3 times in the last week where he's kind of not been happy with a particular call. And so all that kind of lends you to thinking that maybe he's not seeing the ball as well as he normally does. I think that's one of his strengths.
And when Carpenter's right, he hits it to all fields, and that's why I don't necessarily agree with the shift being put on here for Matt.
If he's the normal Matt Carpenter, that's one thing. But if he's struggling, then you're just not sure what you're going to get from it. We've seen him chase pitches out of the strike zone. Again, very unusual for him. He has the ability to understand when something starts out as a ball and it's going to get further away to just lay off it. But he's been chasing some breaking balls in the dirt.
Three and 2 the count with 2 outs and nobody on.
But from his point of view, Dan, he's got to keep grinding. Don't overthink it. Just keep swinging.
And it's a walk. 2-out walk to Carpenter, and it brings in Johnny Peralta. The first walk issued by Trevor May. Peralta has flied out to left and struck out in the 4th on a low strike. Called third strike, and then he had words with the home plate umpire. We saw Mike Matheny yell at Ed Hickox, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Hit out of play. Johnny Peralta has had a tremendous start to this 2015 season. Batting now .315, 10 home runs. He's driven in 35.
On pace for another season at shortstop with less than 10 errors, which has become a norm for him. Maybe not flashy, but steady on the defensive side.
Plays every day. Big gap in left center as Buxton shades. Peralta the opposite way. And the 1-1 pitch. Reynolds, who is homered, stands on deck. Mark now is homered in back-to-back games. The Chevy Fox tracks. First time that Mark has done that since late April 2014.
Dan, we talked earlier about the information gap when you're playing in an interleague game. You don't really know the guys quite as well, but you think about a Buxton in center field who doesn't know anybody very well yet. So you've got to really rely on your coaches, David Bell, the bench coach for the Cardinals, but also the first and third base coaches, and you've got an awful lot to learn in a quick period of time when you're playing at this level.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Peralta. Carpenter's jumping around there down at first. Not running, and the pitch taken high, and now he will be with 2 outs and a full count. The 3-2, and we'll do it again. May has now allowed 6 home runs this year. 2 more here tonight. And the full count delivery. Pulled foul. The Cardinals have not had a crowd under 40,000 in over a year. I mean, that's just incredible. This place on a Monday night against Minnesota is absolutely packed.
With some questionable weather.
Yes.
It just doesn't matter, does it?
3-2 pitch. Peralta with a fly ball into center. Buxton. Plenty of room. And puts it away. 3-0 St. Louis. These 3 game packs feature some of this season's best games and promo giveaways, including matchups with the Cubs, the Pirates, and more. All starting, get this, at just $84. So you can get your Papa Pack. Perfect gift for Father's Day. Cardinals.com/Papa. Shane Robinson. He'll be the pinch hitter. I'm not sure if he's been announced yet. Any former Cardinal you know will get a nice round of applause. Some of the fans, I think, are just catching on that he's at the plate. And Molina is waiting for them to announce Shane Robinson. Look at that.
Attention, please. For Minnesota, batting for the pitcher, May, number 21, Shane Robinson.
That's why this place is different than any other place in baseball. This is Shane Robinson we're talking about.
And that's Yadier Molina making sure that he got his due. And what a great moment that was for Yadier Molina. He actually went in front of home plate, looked up to make sure, hey, you guys got to announce this guy before I'm going to let our pitcher pitch, because we need to acknowledge Shane Robinson's contribution. Again, he's not a frontline guy. He wasn't a starter very often, but he was a Cardinal. Let's let him know we're glad he's back.
You just don't have that anywhere else.
That was fun to watch.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Shane Robinson.
Nice to have you back, Shane, but we're going to try to get you out now.
Yes, sir.
That's what Yadi's thinking.
Once it low and away, and it's a base hit for Robinson. He hung that pitch just a bit.
It's a slider, and it just doesn't quite get sharp enough to me. The location wasn't bad, but it wasn't sharp. That's just the second hit for the Twins here tonight.
Now Buxton still looking for that elusive first major league hit. Grounded out sharply to second base. And a breaking ball that's taken just a bit high. We're in the 6th inning, 3-0 Cardinals. If you've just joined us, the Cardinals picked up a base hit RBI by John Jay in the 3rd. Back-to-back solo home runs in the 4th from Reynolds and Molina. Robinson a threat to steal. Shane pinch hit for Trevor May, who went 5 innings, 3 runs on 5 hits. 1 walk, struck out 3. Twins don't steal very often. As a matter of fact, they are 23rd in attempts, 24th in steals.
They're not really a home run hitting team either. They don't run a lot. They don't hit a lot of home runs. They're trying to figure out how to kind of start generating more offense than they've had this year. We mentioned their starting pitching has been good. Their bullpen has been so-so. They're good at the end with Glenn Perkins, who has 22 saves, but they've got some question marks in innings 6 and 7. And we're going to see some of those guys here tonight.
Here's a 1-1. And again, that's about the 3rd time Lackey has stared back into the home plate umpire.
Pretty good pitch.
2 balls, 1 strike, only at 59 pitches. John Lackey's had 3 innings in which he's only had 8 pitches. The 2-1. Lifted into shallow center field. Shane Robinson back to the bag at first, and there's 1 down.
We haven't mentioned it, but there's been a change of managers in San Diego today. Bud Black was let go from that position, and unfortunately, at least as far as the pitchers club would be concerned, that's down to 2 pitchers now who are major league managers. Brian Price and John Farrell, and 28 players, and it's becoming a rarer and rarer breed to have pitchers as big league managers.
Bud Black, you know, you almost saw the writing on the wall, because they went out, spent a lot of money, made a lot of trades, complete makeover, and now it's up to you as the manager, right or wrong, but you've got to get off to a good start. And it's not his fault that they can't play defense. It's a poor team defensively. 0-1 pitch. That's pulled foul.
Well, the poor start means they're playing 500 baseball and they're 6 games behind the Dodgers. I mean, that's not what I would call a terrible start. It's not a great start.
Right.
But certainly progress from a year ago.
Well, Mike Scioscia had Ron Renneke under him. He's been fired. Bud Black was under Mike Scioscia. He's done.
So is Joe Madden, but he's still ticking.
He's solid. Cardinals have turned 1 double play tonight. That was back in the 4th. Dozier has flied out to deep left center field, and then a ground rule double in left center field.
winningest big league manager who was a pitcher, Tommy Lasorda.
Think about the lack of turnover the Dodgers have had for the most part in that managerial position. Walter Alston, Tommy Lasorda, now Don Mattingly in his 5th year. Here's a 1-2 pitch.
Well, each of the division races is going to be fun for different reasons throughout baseball, and it's really intriguing. Can the Dodgers kind of be that team in the West? Giants are still a very good club, but the American League Central, think about the Minnesota Twins just a game and a half behind Kansas City, and of course you've got Detroit in that league. The White Sox should be better than they are, and Cleveland, I think they're a good team, should be a good team.
Robinson thought about going to second. He would have had it stolen easily. Been watching him take that secondary lead, and there's probably 3 or 4 times he is getting great secondary leads because he's got Lackey red.
That little smile on his face, he knows, boy, I could have had it. Could have had it. What he's trying to do is trying to figure out if there's some cadence to when Lackey holds the ball, then goes home, holds the ball, then goes home.
And I think that's what he had. He had that down. Not running, and the pitch taken outside. Pickoff and save as Robinson is back in. Thanks a lot, Yachty. Standing ovation. Now you're trying to pick me off.
So everybody's paying attention. There's that big kind of secondary lead. A couple of steps out. Oh, that's right. It's Yachty. We saw this a time or two with Pujols and Molina, did we not?
Just thinking the same thing, and I was going to ask you if there was a better combination than those two.
Not that I'm aware of.
On the ground, out at second. No throw by Wong. Inning is extended to Rosario.
Ball was hit pretty hard, and you wonder whether there's a chance at a double play, and it doesn't even look like Wong is aware perhaps that was just 2 outs. I'm not sure he would have had to play at first base, but it looked like he had his mind made up that he's just going to try to get one, but really didn't even look towards the bag at all.
Some of that dirt is piled into the cleats of John Lackey, so he's asking for help there. That's Chris Conroy. And right now, over at Ballpark Village, Al is just flipped over one of the tables in disgust because in his mind, that's the only thing that they've done for the pitchers in the last 30 years. Right there. I can hear him now. You can talking to Pat. Pat, come here. I'm going to show you something.
I wonder if that's really going on over there right now.
I guarantee it. And then Al gets fired up, flips over a table.
Not Al. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Al.
He's not really a mad Hungarian. He's just a kind, gentle soul.
He's a very happy Hungarian. Thank goodness there's Walgreens. Sometimes you got to medicate Al. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Rosario.
Well, we could say that about a lot of us.
We love Al.
And you figured out by now that baseball people are different breeds.
Oh, yeah. So are the announcers.
Well,
we're baseball people.
We are
right?
baseball people.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Eddie Rosario with a runner at first. Got him. A strikeout. And the tag applied by Molina. Strikeout number 3 for John Lackey. The home run hitters coming up: Reynolds, Molina, and Hayward. St. Louis, John Lackey, very, very good again tonight. Only 2 hits allowed. Rain has stayed away. It's turned out to be a beautiful night thus far here at Busch Stadium. Michael Tonkin is the new pitcher, right-hander, and our Chevy called to the pen for the Minnesota Twins.
Really, the Cardinals' offense today has really benefited from the power stroke. Grant Randall Grichuk had that triple, Dan, in the 3rd inning, and that led to the first run. Then the home runs back-to-back in the 4th inning. And this is the Minnesota bullpen that has really struggled other than their closer. Their left-handers, besides Perkins, haven't done very well, and they're kind of searching for that 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy. And the Cardinals have had the luxury of having a lot of pitchers in their bullpen having good seasons.
Well, to follow up the story with Al, who texted me in between innings, I had the story wrong. I said what they've done for the pitcher in the last 30 years. He says, no, Dan, the last 40 years.
Well, he started saying it 10 years ago. But now, it's gone. Where is it?
It's out of there.
Huh.
And I can just see Al smiling now. They finally got my message. That pitch taken inside by Mark Reynolds, underway here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, you can understand, Dan, with the rain that we've had the last couple of days, there would be issues with the mound and the field. But, you know, we look at this field. Bill Finley and his crew do such a terrific job. And, you know, you could almost see the anguish on his face yesterday trying to figure out, okay, do I put the tarp on? Do I take it off? And somehow they create a situation where we're at a major league game and the field's terrific.
3-0. And the pressure that's on Bill to make sure and tell the umpires and the front offices of the respective teams, okay, we're going to play it this time, so go ahead and get your starters ready. Which almost happened yesterday. 4 pitches and a walk. AT&T UVerse Rewind. And the home runs back-to-back. Mark Reynolds. And then Yadier Molina with his first of the season, RBI number 21. That's the first time the Cardinals have gone back-to-back this season. And the last time it happened, September 19th against the Reds. Grichuk and Holiday did that in the first inning against Cincinnati of last year. And a strike to Molina. Found it interesting what you were saying, Rick, where you can manipulate the schedule to an extent in the second half if you can try to get more starts. Let's say for Jaime Garcia at home, he's very good here at home, and John Lackey as well. It also carries over to the postseason. I mean, if you're going to start at home, and this is just a general comment, but because we're a long ways away from that, but
right.
you would certainly think about a Garcia or a Lackey because of how well they pitch at Busch Stadium.
Well, it becomes one of those factors, as you would say, well, Lackey pitches well against the Twins. That means something. Now, it doesn't mean everything. Maybe a small sample size, maybe a big sample size, but you're going to factor it in somehow. And you would do the same thing. Garcia pitches well at home. He may pitch well against this team that's got a lot of left-handers, whatever the case may be. And then you start to try to do it like any other matchup. When a manager creates his lineup, he's thinking about matchups. Why wouldn't you do it with your starting pitchers based on different criteria?
Base hit into right. Reynolds will stop at second base. Molina, another multi-hit game, his 24th this year, and he's 2 for 3.
This is a classic Yadier Molina night, isn't it? He's doing a great job behind the plate. It's a home run and knows how to take the ball the other way. That's a pretty good slider right there, down and away off the plate, but he's able to square it up. Fun to watch him play.
I asked Yadi the other day, I said, you ever think about the Hall of Fame? We talk about it all the time. The opposing players do. And he said, I hear it, but I can't allow myself to think that way.
Understood.
He said, I'm very grateful when people mention that. And certainly I do hear that. But I truly go day by day with the game. 0-2 quickly here on Jason Hayward. And Hayward is grounded to first and grounded back to the pitcher. 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, before it's all said and done, we may be looking at one of the best catchers that's ever played this game.
The question will be, how long will he play? Does he stay behind the plate? One and two the count. Yadi told me that when he was growing up in Puerto Rico, coached by his dad, they would play doubleheaders on the weekends, not play during the week. And he said he was a third baseman, and according to him, a pretty darn good one. And then he would only catch a handful of innings in the second game. He also would pitch. Hayward hits sharply to second. Dozier, Escobar, and safe at first. Nearly turned up the double play.
We've already seen a good example of a hard hit ball, a good defensive play, and then speed to beat it out. We saw that with Grichuk. Now we see it with Hayward. How is this not a double play? The turn's pretty quick, the throw's pretty quick, and there's Hayward flying through the bag. Dozier, by the way, is having an awesome year defensively for this Twins team. He's only made one error, but that was a very nice play on that short hop.
Runners at the corners, and here is Randal Grichuk. Grichuk 2 for 2. Tripled off the wall in left center. And an infield hit on a diving play by the shortstop. Randal telling us that one of the best influences he has had since he's arrived in St. Louis is a guy that competes with him for playing time every day, who's on deck, and that's Jon Jay. He said John has been instrumental in helping him both on and off the field.
Nice to have somebody say that about you, isn't it?
Sure is.
As a teammate.
One ball, one strike. Hayward with 6 steals this year. I remember when Oscar Taveras at spring training was with the Major League club, and the one guy that was always with him, helping him in the drills, John Jay. Bilingual, explained the drills, took him under his wing. Another check on Hayward. But I mean, you think about it, yes, it's a team game, team sport, but these guys are also trying to make a living out of playing this game, and those guys in the minor leagues are trying to take your spot. Those guys on the bench are trying to take your spot. That's part of the competition of it.
But part of the my spot, your spot means our spot if you want to win. And if you want to win, that's what you do.
Hayward is running. Grichuk hits it down the left field line, and it's pulled foul.
If you want to just be better than your teammates, it's a long season. I mean, it really, I've been on teams like that. It's painful. You got guys rooting against each other. I mean, why would somebody give up an at-bat and hit the ball to the right side, move a runner over? If I'm trying to beat you out to play center field more, you just don't do things like that. But if you're really trying to help somebody be better so the team can win, that's a much more fun environment.
Late with that swing and a strikeout of Grichuk. And it looks like Paul Molitor will go to his bullpen. And with John Jay coming up, he has 3 lefties. Now, as Rick mentioned, Perkins is the closer. He's a lefty. And Tonkin gave up a walk, a single. Got a fielder's choice and a strikeout. Our Chevy call to the pen. We'll tell you about the change when we come back. $25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a wearable championship replica ring. Then stay in your seat. Fireworks coming up. Presented by Cooper Tires. It's all at Cardinals.com/promotions. Brian Dunsing.
ERA over 9. We talked about their 2 lefties other than Perkins, who haven't pitched very well. Aaron Thompson's the other left-hander. They have 5 right-handers in their bullpen. And as this series, and it's really a 4-game series in some ways. The fact that you got 2 games here, 2 in Minnesota, you're going to kind of unusual to have a home and away like this, but you're going to get very used to this bullpen, even against left-handers, average over 400.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Keith O'Brien, who's a top researcher down in the truck.
What did he come up with?
He said his favorite movie is Dirty Dancing.
That's terrible.
It's awful. Keith is top of his game, I'll tell you.
I'm not even sure where to go with that, Dan. I'll just leave it alone.
Awful.
There is no color for that statement.
No. 1-1 the count on Jon Jay. Jay with a bloop single to left, flied out to left center, 1 for 2 with an RBI. 2-2. Well, you bring in a left-hander that's struggling against left-handed batters. There's not many in the league that are hitting lefties like Jon Jay the last couple of years. He's so good at going the other way. We talk about keeping the front shoulder in. He's terrific at that. The 2-2.
When you think about it from Paul Molitor's point of view, is that Dunsing is on his team to get left-handers out. Okay, he hasn't been doing it. Well, I'm going to still throw him out there and say that's your job. And if you're not doing your job, we'll get somebody to do your job. But the point is, to say that left-handers have hit him well, let's not use him against lefties, really gives him no purpose on this team.
And a 3-2. And got him. Strikeout of Jay. We head to the 7th. 3-0 St. Louis. That now is with Houston. Well, there's a new one. It's been replaced. They must have been watching the broadcast. All the umpires got together. Yeah.
Well, what they
Go
decided,
ahead and take that over to Ballpark Village. Let's get that to the Mad Hungarian.
They want him to sign it, I believe. I mean, they understand that Al loves those so much that they're going to go up for auction.
Yes.
Get Al to sign that. Why not? And a brand new one. Look what they've done for the pitcher.
Let's take a look at the Mazda game summary. Cardinals with a lead of 3-0. May lasted 5 innings. Buxton is 0 for 2. John Lackey as sharp as we've seen so far this year. And Yadier Molina, first home run, 2 for 3.
The Pat Neshek jersey reminds me of what John Lackey did for Neshek after taking his number. Gave him I believe it was a Babe Ruth autographed card.
Yeah.
Very rare, very expensive. Maybe it was a baseball, but either way, something that he didn't just have lying around the house.
Into center field. Jon Jay, 1 pitch, 1 away.
Made me so wish that somebody wanted the number 49. Never happened. Wouldn't that have been nice? Luck of the drawer. They could have it.
What would you have asked for?
One of those shoe scrapers on the mound, autographed by Al.
It's a collector's item.
One of a kind.
Trevor Plouffe. Key point in this game was back in the fourth. Runners at first and second, and Lackey had a 5-4-3 double play. No balls and 2 strikes. John Lackey, 98-6 in his career when staked to a 3-run lead. In the air, right center, John Jay. Long way to go. Back and looks up, and it's off the base of the wall. Trevor Plouffe with a 1-out double here in the 7th. Torrey Hunter has been around a long time. Most extra base hits in interleague play. T-Mobile game changer. Torrey Hunter, then Beltray, A-Rod, Pujols, and David Ortiz.
American League, by the way, +7 over the National League coming into play tonight in interleague play. And that's a little closer than it's been in past years.
Hunter is flied out to shallow right and also grounded to second. 1 out and a runner at second base. Cardinals leading by the score of 3-0.
You know, Dan, there's something about being a tall outfielder. Every once in a while, you got to realize that this game is not always meant for tall people, and you got to kind of low bridge when the throw's coming in from center field. He just hit the dirt. Self-preservation.
Twins had a leadoff double back in the 4th. And then Rosario, Mauer, and Plouffe came up. It was a fly out to left, then a walk and a double play, and the inning and threat was through. 2 balls, 1 strike with a runner at second base. And the next 2, Torrey Hunter. Good curveball.
You know, when I think of Torrey Hunter as a player, you look at that breaking pitch from Lackey. Hit up, but good late break. I think defense when I think of Hunter. He's had some good offensive numbers, and we just talked about some of those, the extra base hits, but he's been a plus defender, the great catches for a long time.
The 2-2. In the air, left center. Jay will get there, makes the catch. Back to the bag at second goes Plouffe, and what a play by John Jay. That saves a run.
He had to cover a lot of ground between the last play and this play. And I think he kind of went down just to make sure he's going to hold on to that baseball. You know, it's one thing to get to the ball, but then you got to hang on to it. And he's very good at getting that other hand involved, too. Even on the dive, you can see the left hand continuing to kind of track the glove to make sure the ball doesn't pop out as best you can when you're diving.
There's Kurt Suzuki. Grounded out sharply first time up at Colton Long on a short hop tough play, and also is grounded out to first. Suzuki with a base hit into center field. A run will score, and that makes it 3-1. A 2-out RBI base hit. Kurt Suzuki with his 16th RBI.
And just like that, you get to a position where the tying run is at the plate for Minnesota, and you look back at that opportunity the Cardinals had in the 6th inning to add on, and they didn't. And you start to kind of get a little bit more tense about this game.
Eduardo Escobar 0 for 2. He's grounded out, flied out. Pitcher spot on deck. Breaking ball taken high and away.
Paul Molitor was funny in the Twins clubhouse today. He was asked about why he's deciding to hit the pitcher eighth, and he said, well, this is a really long answer. I don't think I have enough time to tell you. I mean, it was really a thought out kind of statistical analysis that, you know, he really thought it through, and he just didn't have a simple answer for it. He just said, look, we really thought it through, and that's why and I've got reasons. He wasn't trying to be coy. He just had to figure it out. Hey, they're going to ask me that question. What's the simple answer? I can't give it to them.
Being a manager is so much more than double switches and when to go to your bullpen and trying to guide 25 guys through this amazing journey of a baseball season is a hard thing to do.
And one underrated thing that a manager does, he's not really guiding his guys as much as he's guiding his coaches. And, you know, if you're a leader, you're leading your people who are leading others. That's what good leaders do. And so when we were talking about the pitchers no longer being managers, Bud Black fired today, only 2 left, say, well, pitchers shouldn't manage because what do they know about hitting and fielding and all that? Well, they have to know about leadership. They have to know about holding the coaches accountable to work with the pitching staff and trust them with the results. You know, Mike doesn't know as much about infield play as Jose Oquendo. He doesn't know as much about pitching as Derek Lilliquist. It's what you do as a leader.
4 strikeouts tonight for Lackey. Time to stretch. Minnesota gets on the board. National team continues their quest for a 3rd World Cup title as they finish group stage play against Nigeria. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on your local Fox station. Catch the whole tournament streaming live on Fox Sports Go. This is between innings. Yadier Molina and John Lackey. Seen in this last couple of weeks. I'm not sure if that was a heated conversation or not, but we've seen a couple of pitchers go after their manager in frustration.
And frankly, Dan, if it's a heated conversation, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, I think you're both trying to get the same ends, and you've got, of course, coaches there refereeing to make sure that it's productive. But, you know, I think everybody understands and has been a part of a heated discussion that's been a good one, that gets to a better end. And you got a strong opinion, I got a strong opinion, and let's agree to disagree and move on.
Here's Colton Wong.
I say it doesn't bother me to a point, is what I guess maybe I would amend that to say. I mean, you don't want it to become negative energy anywhere in a clubhouse or on a team, but I think, you know, to think that players never yell at each other is just naive.
Well, it's talked about when our cameras catch it. And
yes, exactly.
There's a good breaking ball from Dunsing.
But it's not the first time it's happened.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. Many times our cameras do not catch it, and it's taken down the steps towards the clubhouse.
In the lunchroom, in a clubhouse, on a plane, on a bus. I mean, you have 25 personalities that are pretty strong to play this game.
Now, of concern, I saw Lackey kind of shaking his hand after he's got some BBs going on right there. He broke his bat on that swing. That stings. Take it from a guy that was jammed in every at bat. It hurts.
I've seen you jammed. The fantasy kid.
Oh, yeah. Did I tell you about my walk-off hit?
Stop it.
Whatever.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Did have a walk-off hit to advance to the next round. Whatever.
You were jammed.
I'll move on. Anyway, it was a really hard pitch on the out. Okay, I got to tell you about this.
Dan, it's the Honda home run inning. Let's move on.
Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So the guy was throwing really hard.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask our producer if we've got another promo.
Here's Matt Carpenter. Section in which I think you were referring to where I was jammed was, do you think you can hit a major leaguer? And I had to face Brad Thompson. And I'll tell you what, 68 never looked that hard. I'm just kidding, Brad. If you're watching, you were throwing really hard that day. It's like 98, 97, something like that.
And I saw it. Carpenter, by the way, bunting with 2 outs. They're going to give him that. He was going to take it.
Well, at least if you show it, you know, it puts the element that he will do this against the shift into the opponent's mind.
Right.
You know, that's one of the things with Mike Moustakas of Kansas City. He actually laid down a couple of bunts, and he was very vocal about how the shift got into his head. Laid down a couple of bunts, they stopped shifting, he goes on a tear.
So with 2 strikes, they change up the defense. Play a little deeper, don't take the bunt away anymore.
Here's a 1-2.
Well, Dan, you can imagine if you're Moustakas or anybody, Carpenter, you try to bunt a couple of times, all of a sudden that gets in a report somewhere. He will bunt against the shift. And people sometimes take a small sample size and build it into a big deal. Well, that can work against the shift, too.
Here's a 2-2. And a ground ball that's hit to short. Escobar makes the play. Well, we'll break for 2 minutes. And so anyway, Rick, I was up there. Game was on the line. Okay, and I stroked it to right. It was just unbelievable. So I'll tell you about it some more. Let's go to our studio in a Bommarito Sports Update. All right, guys, thanks. Well, let's see if there's any carryover effect from what we saw in the dugout with Lackey and Molina.
My guess and my hope is there won't be.
Eduardo Nunez is the pinch hitter. Nunez, then Buxton and Dozier. 3-1 St. Louis, top of the 8th.
Anybody who's ever had a brother is another way of looking at Lackey and Yachty having words with each other, and just you're competing.
I would assume it's about pitch selection. And a strikeout of Nunez. John Lackey with 5 strikeouts tonight. Plaza Tire Service replay.
Very sharp slider there. Well, the result's good so far. It makes me think of one of my favorite stories, and Andy Benes does a much better job of telling the story because it involved him and Tom Pagnozzi. But he and Tom Pagnozzi were screaming at each other on the field, and then they went up in the clubhouse at one point, and they both said to each other, "Let's go." I mean, they were getting ready to fight, and Pag just didn't want to fight him. But he said, "I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back out on the mound, throw whatever you want. I'm not even going to give you a sign." I believe Joe West was umpiring at the time. And he said, "I'm going to talk to Joe West just about how bad you are while you pitch. And I don't need a sign because whatever you throw, I can catch anyway." And so Andy did it for a whole inning. He pitched to Pagnozzi, who was catching side saddle. He wasn't even squared up. He was just catching side saddle with his glove up there, talking to the umpire while he was catching for an inning. How about that? Wow. But those two, after that inning, they came together, and Andy said, "What's going on?" I mean, he was mad, of course, and Pags was mad. And he said, "What you need to learn to do is you need to learn to trust me. You need to learn to trust me because I'm after your best interest." And they ended up connecting after that. It was a good thing, but it took a while to get there.
Buxton with a line drive into left center field. He has his first major league hit. Look at this guy run. On his way to third. His first big league hit. It's a triple. Rick, you talked about it. You said, man, could this guy run? Wow. He almost tripped going around the bag at first base. Congratulations to Byron Buxton and his first big league hit. It's a triple.
We said there are guys that run well, and then there are guys that are fast, and then there are guys that are lightning fast, and he is in that last category. Once he got his legs under him after leaving second base to get from second to third, it looked like it took him about 3 steps, didn't it?
Wow. That was something else. And here's Dozier with a fly ball into left. Catch made by Grichuk. This will make it 3-2. Buxton scores. So moments ago, his first major league hit. We've heard so much about this guy for the last couple of years. And look at him take off.
The long strides, long legs, long strides. I'm not even sure he hit first base correctly, but I mean, he's running so fast, he's almost out of control. Wow, that's fun to watch.
Eddie Rosario with 2 outs and nobody on. Cardinals did have Randy Choate up. Now it looks like Rosenthal begins to throw along with Manus. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Rosario has popped out, fly to shallow left, and then struck out in the 6th. The key at bat in this game was Rosario back in the 4th with a runner at second, nobody out. And he flied to shallow left, and the runner did not advance. Then there was a walk and a double play, and the threat was through.
Dan, when you throw 70% strikes, you're throwing at a high level in this game. The best pitchers in baseball, control-wise, throw 70% strikes. Lackey is closer to 75 here today, and this will be pitch number 100.
2-2 the count. 3-2 St. Louis as we play here in the top of the 8th. Very well could be the final pitch of the night for John Lackey. If it is, he finishes with 6 strikeouts. 3-2 St. Louis. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. It's moments ago with John Lackey and Yadier Molina.
And that's what brothers do.
There's Peralta, who is hitless tonight. New pitcher, Ryan Presley. 4th pitcher used by Paul Molitor.
Bullpen for the Twins has been problematic. We mentioned that for Paul Molitor, but they put up 3 zeros here. Actually 2 zeros in this game. Following the start of Trevor May. And say May was okay. John Lackey was much better than okay. Terrific performance for John Lackey. His 5 hits in 8 innings.
Line drive into right center, and a base hit for Johnny Peralta, his first hit of the night. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Kevin Segrist is throwing right now in the St. Louis bullpen. Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, and Torrey Hunter due up for Minnesota looking ahead to the 9th. At one point, I thought Rosenthal was up. He was not. It was only Seth Maness.
You can imagine that there's still enough time for Trevor Rosenthal to get loose for the second hitter. Maybe Mike Matheny going with Siegrist against Mauer only, lefty on lefty, and then take him out. That's a possibility. Although normally when you bring in Trevor Rosenthal, you don't really worry about who's up, left, or right-handed. It's not an issue. So at least it makes you wonder whether Trevor's available today.
Here's a 1-1. Off the glove, a Pressey, and then the double play. 1-4-6-3 on the double play. Players to watch. Best ERA at home. And tonight, Lackey, the 8 innings. Enter the promo code CARDS for DraftKings.com.
You were talking earlier, Dan, you think about the Pittsburgh Pirates. You take away some other team's third and fourth hitter in their lineup, and then their number 1 and 2 starter. You take away Burnett and Cole from the Pirates, and you take away McCutchen and Neil Walker. And where would the Pirates be right now? And that's, again, just shows the Cardinals' organizational depth coming into play.
So 2 outs and an 0-1 pitch here to Yadier Molina. Molina is homered and singled. Home run to left, single to right, 2 for 3. Average at 284. I'm sure one of the most talked about or most asked questions after the game tonight will be about Molina and Lackey.
Just guessing, but I would imagine that you're not going to get very much information out of any of the parties.
Nope.
On that particular line of questioning.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Yadi went down to get it. That breaking ball starting to drive the ball more.
Absolutely.
Not just tonight, but in general, last couple of weeks.
You can tell when hitters are just kind of feeling to try to put the ball in play, and then when they're letting it go and swinging it, and he swings this one. Hits that ball on the nose, hits it hard. Yadi is such a good 2-strike hitter, isn't he? And you speak of feeling with the swing. That's some of what we've seen from Jason Hayward this year, is kind of just feeling with the bat through the zone instead of letting it go and trusting his ability. And as Brian Jordan told us in the postgame set last week, he has seen Jason year after year be a slow starter. So I don't think we should be too quick to judge Jason Hayward.
Ripped down the right field line, home run distance, and foul.
I say he let that one go.
Yes. Souvenir for that crew, and I'm sure he thought there was no chance he'd get a baseball up there. And an 0-2 pitch to Hayward. Broken bat and a base hit. Molina to second, and he'll stop there. A 2-out rally here by St. Louis in the bottom of the 8th. Hayward, his first hit, 1 for 4. Here's Randal Grichuk. Well, you just have to wonder about Rosenthal not throwing up, at this point. Getting up and getting loose. Manus is up right now as well. There's a look at Aaron Thompson, a left-hander for Minnesota. And a strike at the knees to Grichuk. Rosenthal pitched 2 days ago, 23 pitches. And he had a very light workload this past week for the most part. Oh-2 pitch. Grichuk chased a pitch out of the zone and a strikeout. Cardinals strand 2. They've left 7 on. 3-2 as we head to the ninth. All right, our Chevy call to the pen takes us to Kevin Segras, so he'll start the inning. Manus is loose and warming up. And the question right now concerning the Cardinals is Rosenthal off limits for this ball game tonight. By seeing Segras here, you would assume yes, and I don't see Trevor down in the bullpen either.
But you also look at the work that Trevor's had over the last week, and that would not be an indication that he's been overworked. He pitched on Wednesday, through 19 pitches, through an inning in the third 2 days ago. But clearly he's not available tonight, or he'd be in right now. So just kind of hope that that's just a day off for Trevor Rosenthal and not something bigger than that.
A strike to Joe Mauer. We start things off here in the top of the ninth. Oh, 0-2.
Segras the kind of guy that I could see just leaving him in for the ninth inning. If he's right, and you can kind of tell with Segras when he's right. The ball just explodes out of his hand. But my guess is he's just in for the lefty here, and then we'll see Seth Manus beyond.
0-2 pitch. Goodbye. Strikeout of Mauer. What a way to start the inning for Kevin Segras.
Just paints the outside corner, and that kind of makes you want to leave him in, doesn't it? That's what we're talking about. He's got that explosive stuff, and Mike Matheny's checking the bullpen, checking his paperwork. And he's staying with Siegrist.
Well, we talked about it too, that Siegrist is not your prototypical bullpen lefty. The Hyundai pitch arsenal in terms of facing lefties or righties. I think the Cardinals feel comfortable in using him in both situations, lefties or righties. Certainly that was the case 2 years ago, and maybe Maness is getting loose. If you get a runner on, he comes in to get your double play.
I think that's a very good summary of what Mike Matheny's thinking right now.
Molina sets up down and in, gets it there, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trevor Plouffe has 9 home runs.
And with your typical left-hander, you would not gamble with that. You would not let a left-hander pitch against a right-hander in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. But Siegrist, with that plus stuff, gives you a little more confidence to leave him in there.
2 balls and a strike. Plouffe has struck out, hit into a double play, and doubled and scored back in the 7th. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, Siegrist spun around, bare hands, and makes the play for out number 2. Our player of the game, Budweiser player of the game, John Lackey. Cardinals starter tonight, gave up 2 runs. In 8 innings of work, only 5 hits, 6 strikeouts. Kevin Siegrist has 1 career save. Back on April 17th of this year. Big cut by Torii Hunter for strike 1.
Good news is you've got a guy with an arm like Kevin Siegrist out there trying to get that 27th out. But the unsettling news is, where's Trevor Rosenthal?
Here's a 1-1. 43,174 on their feet. 14th sellout this year. Cardinals 1 strike away. Here's a 1-2. And Hunter hit by the pitch. That extends the ball game.
Looked like Siegrist just overcooked that fastball a little bit and tried to throw it a little too hard, held onto it a bit too long, and create some pain for Torii Hunter. Ouch, on the forearm.
Two outs. Hunter, the runner at first, and now Kurt Suzuki. Now Molina wants to talk it over here with Siegrist.
Well, a little unsettling that last pitch.
Yeah.
You've got a 1-run lead and you throw a high changeup that misses right in the middle of the plate. That's kind of a danger area. That's a hanging pitch area, and I think Molina wants to make sure we get refocused here and kind of get back down in the zone and make a good pitch.
Now Mike Matheny.
Looks like here he just wants to know what they're thinking. I mean, they've already had a conversation, but that conversation's as much with Yadi as it is with Kevin Segrist. Again, Manus ready. Matheny trusting Segrist with the last out.
And the 1-0 pitch. Line and caught! Carpenter makes the catch. Cardinals have a win. They are 21 games above the 500 mark. With 2 Cardinals home runs hit in tonight's game, a total of $24,000 was raised for prostate cancer research. Make a donation. Go online, thehomerunchallenge.org.
So nice to see the offensive night of Yadier Molina. A couple of hits and a home run. Mark Reynolds with a home run as well. A lot of decisions for Mike Matheny, and they all worked out. John Lackey picks up the win. A very, very solid performance for the right-hander. He wins his 5th.
Cardinals 21 games above the 500 mark. What a start to 2015.